Hello everybody and welcome to game 2 of what looks to be an incredible series today. We have on the north side of Feymanville Approach, after a 55-minute game battling against the ferocious entity that is Barton, we have Korean Army.
Korean Army's playing as Soviets. He's up against the notorious one, Barton's OKW, spawning from the southeast. If any of you saw that first game, that 55-minute epic classic, you know what you're in for in this second game. This series has the hallmarks of an all-time great Company of Heroes 2 tournament classic. If you've got any friends out there, I don't care who they are, your mother, your former flatmates, previous hamsters, future lover, get them in the stream right now because game 2 is also going to be pretty damn good to watch. Because these two players look like they're on a fighting form. It's any player's game to win and any man's match to lose out there on the fields of Feymanville Approach. So let's buckle down and let's get ready for the slaughter.
Already at the start of this game, we see that both players paying incredible attention to detail on the map. They are already preparing with wire all the places that their opponents may be able to push through at the start of this game. Barton running straight up the center to the strategic decap to wire that off to make things a little more difficult for Korean Army. I think at least this time round it'll probably force him into minesweepers early, AE, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a very good thing, but you'll notice Korean Army straight away in with the M3 build against the Kubelwagen. So he's going for a pretty, looks like a pretty meta-based strategy, is the dastardly Korean right now. So it could be a very stable base to build upon. But I don't know about you, Dan, but after a 55-minute epic confrontation, the fact we were getting Barton's OKW on Feymanville Approach, given that we once cast what is commonly touted in intro videos for GCS as the greatest game in Company Heroes 2 history. We got Barton on OKW. So it's a little bit Vietnam flashbacks right now for me.
Yeah, it's this was the scene where Barton really pulled that out of the bag against Jeslin. Back when Jeslin was in his, well, actually it's probably just after Jeslin was in his prime. If anyone can still remember what that felt like after last week, then you'll know what I'm on about. But I mean, this is a map where we know he'll play well. We'll know that with OKW he does also have access, doesn't he, in the late game to try and get that
nice reaction times there. But the M3's going in for this Kubel. It's going in for it, Dan. It doesn't matter about the reaction times of Barton because Korean Army does not hesitate. There you go. That's why we're in a top-level game. Because although Barton reacted quickly, Dan, Korean Army didn't even think twice, you know. And that means no wasted seconds whatsoever from both players.
No, not at all. I think like what we're seeing here at the moment, obviously tier 1 for the Soviets is very, very slow to field. The Korean Army tried to get the double engineer build out so we could try and get some capping power. But actually what happens with this is that OKW can take mass advantage of how slow Soviets are to field with this tier 1 build. As the units are high manpower, you know, they're slow to build, slow to get the tier up. So even though it looks bad right now though, you know, I have trust that Korean Army is going to be able to turn this around. It's going to be playing up against what looks like 4 Volks and a Kubel, which should be easily negated by Penal Battalion's M3 if he plays it correctly.
Good thing about Korean Army is his competitive spirits and sportsmanship are recognized as being very high indeed. He's a vastly loved player. He's never had problems in tournaments and people love to play against him because of his competitive nature. Or they fear to play against him in long series rather. He's not going to be somebody that's intimidated by Barton winning that 55-minute brawl in that first game. He's going to come out fighting in this second game. And don't expect any less from the Korean master.
It looks like Barton's ready to tech up. He's got his teching truck on the field already. We're going to get to see whether he's going to go for what is currently like a meta with mechanized or whether he's going to go for the battle grouper. And of course OKW has been completely changed in recent patches by the fact that the Stern Pioneers now no longer require veterancy in order to drop medical supplies. So it's actually way more viable to go for the mechanized tier than it has ever been for OKW. And we'll get to see what his decision is going to be very, very shortly. But with 4 Volksgrenadiers, actually he is going to go for the mechanized, so might look to see a Luke's, maybe even a Puma, maybe even a repeat of that ESL game.
Yes, exactly, the Vet 5 Luke's that we still remember. And that is what we mean when we say, to quote, every game tells a story, because Dan and I still remember a game from January 2016, and it's nearly 18 months later, and we remember individual units from that game. So the fact that he's getting mechanized in a fast Lux could be very indicative of that.
Well, Korean Army is starting to get use out of that Soviet roll-on because, of course, whilst they're slow to field at the start, they do pick up pace very, very quickly, and we're seeing 2 VPs capped, fuel secure. He needs to get hold of his munitions, though, because he is currently offering double munitions, plus 48 to Barton. They're going to help him get those STGs up on the field straight away. So he does need to be careful about that.
He really does. But here we go. We've got the M3 clown car, and the clowns in operation in the circus of the Korean Army right now are wielding flamethrowers, both attaining Veterancy 1, getting overdrive as a capability.
I feel like he's maybe missed a bit of an opportunity with the flamethrowers because, you know, one of the nice things about mechanized costing a little bit more fuel is that you might get a little bit more time to make use of those flamethrowers inside the inside the scout car. But he wasn't really able to do that because mechanized came up relatively quickly, and Barton's easily got enough munitions to start Fausting now.
And there we go. One of the great utilities of the GCS, or rather the Winter Balance patch, is the med kits in base there for the near the command headquarters of Barton. That means he doesn't have to go battle grouper necessarily. He is able to rush a battle group, a mechanized regiment headquarters.
Good retreat times there from the penal battalions. Scout cars rolling in, possibly looking to try and get some burst damage off you. We need to be very, very careful. This is a great opportunity when he actually stacks up a little bit of munitions. He might be able to lay a demo charge, given that Barton is actually moving a lot of his squads together. It's a perfect opportunity for a demo charge to go off and deal heavy, heavy damage.
But look at Korean Army's micro. He knows how to pick engagements, how to stay at range, so he doesn't get Fausted by these folks Grenadiers. And again, look at Barton's capping. He's currently capping 4 points at once, or about to be, with that Stern Pioneer going for the South victory point. So, great play from both sides. We are in a true high-level confrontation.
This is a little tense as to where this one goes. Lux is about to hit the field, and typically to do with Tier 1 here, we just don't have anything on the field in terms of AT at the moment. I'm well aware that Korean Army has got access to partisan tactics, which we've seen used on this map before to absolutely brilliant effect. Could be that Lux decides to pop its head around a corner that it doesn't want to when those partisans come out.
Could be. It could be. Regardless, though, the Lux is going straight in, and however, it doesn't want to duke up against those targeted satchel charges. It can stick to the tank and render it pretty much useless if there's any follow-up. Korean Army's just chosen partisan tank hunter tactics, as I call it, because that's the main utility I foresee from it.
Yeah, I think that's the right choice because, you know, he's slow to field AT at the moment. He knows it's on the field. It's a great unit as well to just pop out, especially if you get the AT nades. Those tank hunters can do a lot of damage. But one thing here, I mean, as Soviets, he's obviously sacrificing something that, you know, throughout the time, Soviets have been, you know, the faction of this game. Really, they've always had a bit of a tendency for commanders to, for the late game. You know, whether it's the IS-2, whether it's having access to the 85s. I mean, he's got marked target, but he's going to be relying pretty much on climbing up to Tier 4 here.
Here's the ISG mobile on the field. There we go, setting up as a battle group headquarters, and I expect these ISGs to be the bane of Korean Army's existence when they hit the field. But Barton's had a much stronger early game here, though.
He has, yeah. I'm actually interested to see. Oh, this could be dangerous. The Panzer II is going to find the scout car. Korean Army oversteps the mark a little bit, but there come the 18 aids from the partisans, popped out of the building, and look, he's still chasing with the scout car. He's still trying to get every bit of value he possibly can. The mine goes off!
The Shrek hits the mine! Dear God!
He's got to get this. He's got to get this.
Still alive. Still alive.
Nah, he's trying to find the route. He's trying to find the route.
Here comes the MG34 for the save, though. They are going to get suppressed. The Lux is going to get away. Tax ground does not do the damage, does get the Kubel. Mass retreat. What a great fray, though, there.
Wow, what an engagement. Beyond all that as well, he's still microing in the center, trying to deal with these Volks Grenadiers here, dealing the damage. And the penal battalions are trying to close in on this territory. It was such a great move, such a great idea, but Barton just manages to sneak that out behind a sight blocker before the Shreks could target acquire. And it's such a shame, really, because it was such a great move, but now the doctrine has been revealed. We get to see what Barton is going to play as a response.
That was just such a great turnabout in play. A little bit of luck for Korean Army, bad luck in not getting the final killing blow. But regardless, he's now got the central victory, so he's got an overall strategic win there, and Barton is mostly back in his base. In terms of KD right now, it's pretty damn even. Korean Army 28 to 35 losses. So as Soviets, he's done pretty well.
I think we do just see the first squad loss there, though, from Engineers for Korean Army.
That's a famous thing in Castilla. There's been a squad wipe. Oh, it's just Engineers. Never. Never mind. Got penal battalions also pushing for the fuel in the east, so we do have Korean Army really starting to branch out. But here comes the Panzer II Lukes, making usage of that OKW superior Stern Pioneer repair time. It's back on the battlefield within a matter of minutes, and it's now going to start shredding through these units as they try and get a satchel off.
He'll do well just keeping those cover positions, trying... as long as he stays there, hopefully he won't take too many manpower hits from the Luke, so that it is dealing some health damage whilst the units are in green cover. Volks Grenadiers are probably going to make short work of his squad if he doesn't retreat quickly. Barton famously loves to just push up the center in this map as well. You always see this from him. He leans very slightly to one side, but really likes to push up the center of the map, especially here.
One of the things that's going to make this an all-time great series is both players have the inclination to be aggressive when it matters most. They don't fear the gambles that are necessary to make yourself a great Company Heroes 2 player, and they know when to push.
Barton's trying to wire in the penal battalions. Here he gets it off with the ghost. Oh no! Oh, Barton!
Brutality, absolute brutality. Oh, yep. That is Barton at his strength, and here comes the. They're stuck! This is hideous! Absolutely hideous from Barton. It's a war crime. He's going to be sent to The Hague after this battle, because they basically wired in them into that hut, drove a small light armor Panzer up to the window, and shot inside. Holy crap, that is brutal from Barton. Absolutely. Yeah, Red Brick, eat your heart out.
I mean, I have to say, it's one of those things. I think a lot of people, especially what we've seen of ghosting in this tournament, when you get buildings that have a door, like only one door, I think a lot of people are probably going to be avoiding those like hell from now on, because it's brutal, like absolutely brutal what you can do with the wire there.
So many people on YouTube comments about the Fred Brick games are so salty and say, "Oh, ban Fred Brick." I have to say, this was not said as an exploit before the tournament. Nobody was really doing it much before the tournament. But now I see it as the person setting the rules, or at least, you know, collecting feedback and then setting the rules, rather. I think it's awesome. I don't give a crap. I think it's so cool. I'm like, wow, he's just wired him into a house and killed him. That's amazing. Do you join me in that one, Dan? Do you think it's cool as well?
I secretly love it, but...
Yeah, me too. I don't give a crap, man. I'm like, yeah, wire him in like a bitch. It's awesome.
Well, we are now looking at a pretty weakened Korean army at the start of this game. It's not the situation that he wants to be in, really, which is a shame because, you know, he's pulled off some nice moves. It looks like he may lose the partisans here. They've got one left. They only have to run through. Luke's is down to 4 units remaining. Very, very difficult situation for him to be in, although he is actually getting tier 4 up at the moment. So I wonder if he's looking to try and steal some kind of advantage through there.
The sad thing is, though, with stuff like wiring Korean Army in there and then getting that penal battalion to come to kill, Korean Army hasn't got much of an army left. And Barton, we don't want to see an uncompetitive series, although it's definitely not being uncompetitive in terms of quality of match. Well, in terms of scoreline, Korean Army deserves to get one back here. So he's going to be needing this T-34 76 variant to do some serious work.
Oh, this is such. The retreat paths here are so long. I mean, really, to leave the retreating like this, the Lukes is there. You got STGs from the Volksgrenadiers. They're going to hit these penal battalions in negative cover. There's a chance this squad will go down thanks to a late retreat. Green Army's, yeah, he's got to be feeling bad right now because again, another squad and a negative cover. It's absolutely devastating. If that goes down.
Sturmgewehrs were behind. Heavy cover there. There's prototype assault rifles were just plinking away. They did serious work, and Korean Army is left with an early war variant of the T-34, a sole combat engineer, and a 4-man penal battalion.
Yeah, Barton's really showing some great play with OKW. It's funny though, I mean, Korean Army is playing very, very well with Oster, but has not handled the Soviets particularly gracefully. I mean, he's been unlucky. We can't fault he's had a little bit of bad luck here. But,
I mean, the great thing I must say about Korean Army is, or in this match rather, is he does have another shot at this. After Faymanville approach, even if it goes to 2-0 Barton, Korean Army will have another pop at possibly playing Wehrmacht if he so desires. And that is clearly his more favoured faction.
Penal battalions here vaulting the wall, trying to deal with these Volksgrenadiers. It's going to force them to retreat.
That's a long retreat path. A long, hard slog. T-34-76 attempting to come to the rescue. It does indeed do it. Has to threaten mark target against the Lukes, just to doubly push away that menace upon his army. And Korean Park, as I'll call him now, is going to be looking to try and push away as much as he can do, just to try and rebuild his army. He's got to just keep alive, basically, until his superior manpower income per minute, aka better upkeep, will allow him back into this game.
It's going to be such a tough one though, really. Barton's teching going up. Barton locks in fortifications, Commander. I wonder if we're going to see a Pack 43 in the center with protection from the Tier 4 here. I wonder if that's what he's lining up for. The fortifications have become actually quite popular, quite realistic as a 1v1 commander, thanks pretty much to GB Hooligans showing of it the other day versus Aimstrong. But Barton's got a great position to actually use it, you know, with Tier 4 there. You know, you can get great position through the center, great defense in the center, and then fold left and right as needed for the VPs.
So Korean Army spent 600 manpower upon being pretty much on the brink of destruction on 2 penal battalions, of which he's upgraded one with the PTRS. He's got a T-34-76, which is doing surprisingly well. It's gotten 6 kills. So he's not looking like he's completely out of the game yet. However, he's going to need a Barton-style comeback in order to get back into this thing.
Batteries are armed and ready to fire.
Such a difficult situation. PTRS is upgraded on the penal battalions, so the infantry he does have is not particularly as good infantry to infantry. So much pressure on this T-34 to actually, you know, provide model damage. Sorry, model losses and just kind of hurt the manpower of Barton, but yeah, everything's just gone. Like having to upgrade PTRSs because you lost your partisans is brutal.
And the great thing about Korean Army, though, although he's had a bit of a bad game here, a little bit of exploitative abuse done against him with the barbed wire, and he's suffered squad wipes from Barton's superior positioning. It just does not feel like he's out of this series yet. So although he may be on his way to being 2-0 down, Game 3, in my opinion, could still have the propensity to be an all-time classic. Oh god, as the T-34-76 goes over a mine there and gets taken out by the Panzer II Lukes. Even with marked target on it, it was able to back away, draw the T-34 in, and take it out.
Where's this plane? Where is it?
There you go, Korean Army as this flies into the ground. He sees that as his cue to surrender.
I caught that in cinematic. It was perfect. Like literally surrendered when the plane crashed. That was beautiful.
Maybe that's with his command plane, like he was overviewing the battlefield from it.
So I was literally thinking, that's just him, like, no!
God.
Oh dear.
I say let's get into game 3, baby. Let's do it.
Definitely. It's oh, what a difficult situation for him. I feel like he was really unfortunate in that game, though. You know, he played it well. He made the right decisions, like with what he did. You know what I mean? Getting the partisans out. If he'd have taken that Luke's down, it would have been a completely different game. Completely different. So he didn't look weak by any means. It just looked like, you know, a couple of mistakes that cost. I mean, that two squad wipe on the retreat through negative cover to the base. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, let me just update the score.
Korean Army just said, thank you for the casting in the Steam group chat. So Barton's like, it's a best of 5, bro. We're up to 3 games.
Oh no, he didn't know? Aw.
I'm sure he knew that. I think he's just such a polite gentleman. He's like, you know...
Just every match. Thank you for the casting.
Thank you for playing. He's such a nice guy. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure he knew that because, of course, he played a best of 5 in the first match.
Mm.
So...
Well, no game ready just at the second. It's
Korean always said okay. He knows, I'm pretty sure. So, everybody, just a big shout out now, as we've got loads of people in chat. That's 936 viewers. Next Saturday, that's right, Saturday, not Sunday like the past 4 weeks, we're going to have the first 2 quarterfinal matches. It's going to be next Saturday, Devon versus Talisman and Von Ivan versus Theodosios. Then, on the very same Sunday of that very same weekend, that's right, it's a bumper weekend with 4 best-of-5 matches. We've got Love Nest versus Aimstrong and Helping Hands versus the winner of this current series. So it's a quarterfinal weekend, basically. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So stock up on beers, get your pizzas in, and we're going to have an absolute bash.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a long weekend. You're coming over here for the weekend, aren't you?
I am. I'll maybe treating you to a Grand Championship Series t-shirt. That's like this, everybody, for those that want to see it.
And if you guys want to see it in reverse, make sure to check it out on my channel.
No! No! You need to stop. You need to stop.
I can't do it.
You have a beautiful face, Dan.
No.
We're not casting the... You know what I could imagine you doing? You like sabotaging the t-shirt order and sending in reverse.png.
Can you do that? Can you do
Fuck
that?
off! No, sorry.
Because
we're not having a reverse t-shirt. No way. Just for your weird superstition of your face on the stream. No way. It's not the Dunrang. Grand. So that'd be Narg. That's not the Gnarg.
Aimstrong, I'm flattered that you continually pursue me for a game, but I can tell you, you will beat me relatively easily. Actually, no, I played against him before. Do you not remember that game? I was playing versus Aimstrong.
I was so pissed at Choppy and Tenchi for coming in your chat whilst you were trying to play him.
And I didn't know it was Aimstrong. I felt really confident, so I was like playing, and then you came in and said, "Can you guys stop talking to him because he's playing versus Aimstrong?" And I was like, "What?" And I suddenly just lost like everything. I was like, "Yeah, great." I haven't quite built up the tournament nerves barrier yet, but that's why I like to sit on the casting side. It's a little, I wouldn't say it's less stressful, but it's less maintenance on the nerves. But interesting story actually for those. We were talking about like mirrored cameras when we were at ESL last year. It was really, really funny. I have this thing, like, I really preferred for, like, cameras to be mirrored, because when I want to point, like, top right or top left or whatever, like, it's easy for me, because I just point, actually, like, where I see it on the screen, so I can just easily mark it. If you try doing that, like, in standard, it's difficult. But when we got to ESL, and they had this screen behind us that said, like, Company of Heroes standard, so when we mirrored the camera, that was backwards. So we actually got the ESL guys to mirror the TV in the background, so that when we mirrored the stream,
it was a low moment.
They were just looking like, why?
Yeah. It was really, really odd. It was almost as odd as the moment when I realized that the PC they had given us to play Company of Heroes 2 on at ESL was Pentium 4 and the 2 GB AMD Radeon GPU, and I think 4 GB of RAM. I F you not. It was literally like a 2008 computer. Great for League of Legends, great for CSGO, but for the unholy mess of coding that is Code 2, well, it is a demanding game in its own right. It's not actually that sloppy coding. It's just basically an FPS that's an RTS. It's weird. Yeah, it was crazy. And they had to hot swap a 970 GTX into the machine whilst we were casting. It was crazy.
That was funny. That was funny when they kind of realized, we're like, guys, this won't run. This won't run.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys who are checking out the battle planner, looks like we have the next game is starting to come around. So this time Korean Army is going to be playing as the Brits. He's going to be playing against Barton's OKW again. This time is a different faction. And obviously Barton is going to be crossing in the woods. And I don't know how, you know, like I would have put this down as a relatively good map for Brits, to be honest. There's really good places to get mortar pits up. The snipers there, OKW doesn't have that. So, you know, some good opportunities for Brits to play. Good opportunities for Blitz, but good opportunity for Brits to, you know, to play well here. I don't know what Korean Army plays like as Brits, but I'm sure it's better than the Soviets.
Never seen it happen, but let's have a look. It could be absolutely wonderful. It could be, you know, a real game to savor. This is a big change in pace now. Might be a map that Barton's not so great on. We know Barton would have preferred to play on OKW. That's his favoured faction. So it's one of those situations where I believe Korean Army may have chosen the map in this situation. So let's wait and see. It's going to be very exciting indeed.
Just sending you invites to join the observer party because the game has started now. Fine.
Sorry, my friend. I'm coming.
No, it's fine. We still got 3 minutes before the game
officially
starts.
Okay. I'm with you. A very quick point of call to make is Sunday Night's Fights Season 4 back in the old days of 27th of January 2013, introduced this very same map, at the time stylized as Crossing in the Woods. It featured at the time Barton, obviously playing quite a lot at the time, not to his heights that we've seen him in Co 2. He was never quite there as a Co 1 player. But in that very same tournament, you will have seen Korean Army also playing. So these two maps have been basically what Ami Politsai did. Is he introduced us to Beau de Châtelet and Argentan Crossroads at the time, which have later become staples of Co 2, finally, as Crossing in the Woods and now Crossroads. So the past two maps we've played were Co 1 community maps that were introduced in 2013 by Amit Politsai to Sunday Night Season 4, and I'll link the brackets for you, and both of those two same players played back in that tournament. So that is the kind of history we're talking about here. You'll see it divided up into 4 basically separate tournaments. Barton, it's just great looking back on this. Lost to Alias in game 3 there. Korean Army, he did pretty damn well. He got up to DevM. He lost 2-0 to DevM, but this is way back in the day. This is now 4 years ago. Korean Army on the bottom right brackets, you'll notice. I haven't actually linked it in chat yet, but I just think it's great to take a step down memory lane and just recognize the tournament histories of these players, where they've been, and now we see them playing on these very same maps that were community maps, by the way. So map makers made them, and they weren't official at the time. We now see them official community maps, and in Co 2, the sequel to that great game, 4 years later in the Grand Championship Series, which is a somewhat of a spiritual successor to all these big tournaments of the past gone by. So we've got a real great history in our community, and these two players have a lot of history together and a lot of history in the game. So it's just a bit of a nod to that.
Gosh. This could be sorry, I'm just, it could be a 3-0 again.
Do you think?
Well, Barton's playing as OKW. He's very, very good with this faction.
I'm not sure. I think I think Korean Army's made of stern stuff, and I realize, honestly, I've big faith in him to get a DevM style all of a sudden, a 5-minute win out of nowhere. He is that kind of player that can, produce those moments of greatness.
I'm just going to take a very quick bathroom break. I'll be back in a second.
Do you want me to hold the fort?
Like 15 seconds off. I'll pause it. We'll go straight in a moment.
Okay. I think I'm holding the fort, I guess. But yes, I'm left with chat, and we're left with an exciting series. We're now 2 games into our second series of today, Barton versus Korean Army. Korean Army, as we've mentioned, is now got his back up against the wall. He's a dangerous animal. He could be going for it. He could be looking ever so strong in this third game. It is a best of 5, so if he were to lose this game, he's out of the tournament. And Barton will be up against Helping Hands next week. This is the same Barton that used to knock Helping Hands out of every single tournament, it seemed like. I think Helping Hands went on a 4-tournament loss streak, getting knocked out of every single one of those tournaments by Barton at the time. If not 4, it was at least 3-tournament loss streak to Barton. So he has a very sore spot when it comes to playing Barton, but obviously Helping Hands has reached the heights of tournament victory a lot more recently than Barton, having won that big March monthly final for ESL, the big last ESL tournament, and also the Kickoff Cup too. I feel like Dan is back.
I am.
I think we're ready. We're poised.
All right.
Go for it.
Let's do it. Hello everybody and welcome to our third game of the series, Barton versus Korean Army. This time the map is going to be Crossing in the Woods, one of the least popular, you would say, AE maps in the tournament. It's going to be Barton playing as the OKW from the south side.
That's right, Barton is playing as this from the south, has his glorious OKW faction. He's up against Korean Army, the tournament legend from the north. In this case, will it be going for something like coming here as one tournament faithful like Aimstrong would go for as Brits? Who knows? Regardless, we know his back is up against the wall. He's 2-0 down in this best of 5 round 2 matchup. So he's going to be looking to be aggressive. He's going to be looking to be, quite frankly, bloodthirsty. And this river that has run dry will be looking to be running with the blood of his Polish adversary in this particular game. Let's buckle up, let's get a beer out, and let's get ready for destruction.
100%. This is the perfect way to spend your Sunday evenings. It is watching Company of Heroes, high-level play. I couldn't think of anything better to be doing, quite frankly, than casting this for you guys. With you, of course, AE. But this is one of those games with seeing a 2-0 situation at the moment. I think it's quite undeserving to be in this situation because Korean Army, that effort he put in at the in the first game, absolutely phenomenal. Hopefully we get to see that from him again, playing as a different faction, because Soviets didn't quite cut it for him. But I really hope that we get to cast 5 games of these guys, because this does not come around very often.
No, a game of this caliber, a matchup of this caliber, quite frankly, a war to this level of skill is quite rare to see. Even in the Grand Championship Series, we've had best of 5 matchups before, but they've never been of an equal footing as this. It's usually been due to some tactical or strategical master play that has gotten to the best of 5 standard. These guys are so equally poised. It's a bit of an insult to Korean Army right now to be 2-0 down. And quite frankly, if Barton hadn't done the mischievous wiring in of that penal battalion into the hut, we might not have gotten into the position. It really threw Korean Army off his game, and Barton found himself in a victorious game 2. But here we go. We're going into the warfare once again. Got our heads down. We're expecting the very worst, or the very best, from both of these players.
Yeah, Barton straight into this game with high aggression, taking some of the buildings that were very popularized by DevM as huge vantage points on this map. And this high aggression can go 2 ways, you know. It's whilst he gets a good map control, you know, he's allowing great time for the Kubel to go around capping the map. This can go very downhill as he can lose a lot of manpower against this stacked force from the British infantry. They're now going to be able to reconnect their territories. They haven't really lost too much on the field at all. I think 1 model has gone down out of all of that, so it's looking
good for Korean Army. He's done well there. He's done well. I mean, the Stern Pioneer takes a lot to reinforce. It's a very costly unit. You're looking at 30 manpower per man given back to that squad. He's now up against a strong front, though. We've got Focus Grenadiers between 2 levels of green cover, both the tag and the tank traps. So it's an interesting engagement for sure.
I think we have a little bit of I think we have a little bit of a safer anti-tank choice this time, because if Barton does manage to push early Lukes again, then this time, you know, we might be able to see the Special Weapons Regiment from the Brits. Boys anti-tank rifles come in, you know, a little bit easier at dealing with the Lukes. We've seen this doctrine we saw earlier from Hans, and it's very, very good at you know, being extra infantry squad. And
it was great play from the Kubel. It managed to flank the MG, get 2 men destroying, and push back the MG back to base. Kubel nearly paid for it with its life. So there we go. Good turnabout and play from both players so far. Great flanking from Barton, but good recoil and resurgence from Korean Army.
It looks like Sniper's going to be in the build for Korean Army. I think this is a great decision, because OKW will not be able to counter-snipe here. It's going to deal a lot of damage to the OKW infantry. He really needs to start hurting that manpower as quick as he can. Hopefully, though, he doesn't spend too much manpower and neglect AT, because he'll either be forced into Special Weapons Regiment, or he'll need to... or he'll just lose, quite frankly.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Barton's gone for that strong house near the munitions there, resulting in Korean Army taking a disadvantageous position behind the green cover sandbags, which meant he was basically sandwiched between the Mauser Carabiner 98 rifles.
I do feel like it's a difficult position for him, because I mean, ideally here he wants to go onto the right-hand side of the map. He has got his fuel connected. He may as well take that VP there and try and hold what he can. You know, another MG might be very, very good for him here, but he's got to be very, very careful, because that supply half-track is now on the field already, and it's probably going to end up being mechanized again, as we saw in the last game. Barton playing the Panzer II build very, very well, very, very fast.
I think all eyes on the Sniper. That 55 cal armor-piercing Sniper of Korean Army, although it's currently getting shot by Focus Grenadiers, we've got to keep our eyes on that baby, because that could really be the difference between a Brit player and an OKW player, especially on a map with large open sight lines. If left unmitigated, it could really do the manpower damage against his opponent.
Yeah, we definitely saw that from Barton when he was playing Soviet snipers previously. It's got a lot of potential to be very, very damaging. Barton, look at that guy getting disintegrated by the Boyd anti-tank rifle. He's got one more retreating through. I'm not sure whether the British infantry will be able to track that target and kill it in time. Until a couple of pot shots.
And crew now ready for action.
Not quite enough.
Couldn't quite get it off. No, that's the advantage of medium cover on the retreat path there. Yes, that's right. All the bullet shots and the retreat paths, everything's simulated with regards to cover. It's not just situational. If you're running behind cover and the guys are on the other side of it firing at you, it does count.
Korean Army's going to have to look at getting this Vickers out of this engagement pretty quickly, because of course the Kubel has come in for support. Fortunately, he manages to push off the 2 Volks Grenadiers that were pushing center, but Korean Army needs to try and lock down these territories, because he's getting constantly flanked. That's a nice shot from the AT gun. Come on, Sniper's got to take that last shot.
Our capture point.
One last shot required, but no, the 6-pounder gets it, and they basically laugh at the Sniper there, saying, we did your work for you with 2 shots. We managed to reload and then hit the Kubel wagon, the converted VW Beetle, again in the time it took you to load one of those uncumbersome 35 caliber rounds into your sniper rifle.
That is very, very true. Wasn't particularly quick there at getting that shot off.
He could just be having a bit of a lie down. Maybe he's just going to sleep. On the VP point, you will notice that Korean Army's already slipped down to 3-9. He's now just about able to get the central victory point neutralized. And he's going to have a lot of work to do to keep himself into this game against Barton's fierce OKW, because that's right. Here comes the Barton mobile. That Panzer II Luke's light tank is on the field. It's going to eviscerate infantry squads and cause real damage for Korean Army. However, oh god, the Sniper's in peril.
It's a late retreat. He hasn't got any cover positions nearby. Barton's going to take advantage of that. Sniper goes down. A huge loss already for Korean Army, who does not want to be losing units like that right at the start point of this game. AT guns lined up in position for when that Lux pokes its head around, but it's going to have to get a number of shots off before it can deal with that. Probably going to get the second shot off, but there'll be nothing to cover for it when it moves around the flank.
Look at the balls on Barton now. He's managed to flank it with the Sturm Gewehr. He's also coming in with a second Sturm Gewehr wielding Focus Grenadier and managed to get rid of the 6-pounder. That is the aggression of the Polish beast, quite frankly, as this Tommy now on negative cover is sure to die. And there you go. This looks like Korean Army maybe diving out of the tournament, as Korean Army using an incendiary to destroy the 6-pounder. He's got those 3 Focus Grenadiers just sitting there. However, now comes the Vickers, that 19th century technology, pummeling the Focus Grenadiers with heavy lead.
Oh, how unfortunate. That was really something he did not want to happen. Like, losing the sniper was one, but to lose that Tommy squad, a very, very late retreat there. Barton's trying to get rid of it with the infiltration nades, but Barton's also going for a second Panzer II Lux. I think he realizes the significant that this AT gun is the only thing that Korean Army has in terms of AT. He is actually getting another one on the field, so he will have 2 AT guns, may be able to counterplay Barton here. I mean, if this goes well, then, you know, he may be able to take these Lukes down relatively quickly and even it out. But it's gonna be a incredible play if it does happen.
Oh look, and he knows the 6-pounder's weak at the moment because Korean Army. He has gotten a second 6-pounder out though, so he could find himself in a good position. But it's all
The mic's cutting out, just let you know.
It's not just about where you manage to put your 6-pounders. It's about the exact prediction of where your enemy puts his tanks as well. Attack ground, will he be able to take it? So close!
That could not have been closer. He's so unlucky that he didn't get that. So unlucky. You've got to wonder. I mean, that was a really well-placed ground attack as well. It was millimeters off of dealing damage to the Panzer II Lux there. Barton very, very lucky to get out of that situation.
I've got to say, parity has now been somewhat rediscovered in this game. It seems strange to say, given that we have Barton rampaging through Korean Army's territories with 2 light tanks eviscerating his units. However, now we have 2 6-pounders. If he can rebuild his infantry army, he can actually make a bit of a play here. The thing going against him, of course, is currently the triple victory point cap.
Gosh, these last 2 games, I mean, the first game was so intensely even between the pair of them. But Barton has just completely exploited the early game, you know, each time. See the Lukes coming in now. It actually dodges shots from the AT guns. It's going to go around. In fact, both the Lukes are flanking. One of the AT guns is going to go down relatively quickly. Can the Volksgrenadiers sweep up any more of these AT guns?
Oh, he even recruited it in double time there. But look at this micro from Barton. He's managing to literally duck and dive, bob and weave behind and around the 6-pounders and constantly deplete them of their crewmates. Here comes the boys anti-tank Hunter infantry section, trying to do decent work against the Lukes, but it won't be long before that itself is vanquished, leaving nothing left but the Focus Grenadiers to take the 6-pounders and take this series 3-0 in Barton's favour.
Yeah, I think Korean Army's got to seriously be looking at the fact right now that he will have lost and dropped out of the series, and there it goes, the surrender. Wow. I really hoped that series would go to 5 games. I really, really did. Because
I'm not disappointed, though, based on that 55-minute first game. I think we got everything we paid for with that series. And a big thanks to Korean Army. If you're listening, if you're out there, massive thanks to playing right now. Because in South Korea, it's very late at night. So if Korean Army wants to come and chat so people can say thank you to him, he's been an absolute beast today. It's nearly 4 o'clock, just about to go 4 o'clock a.m. in the morning for Korean Army. So big thanks to him for playing.
Yeah, that first game was incredible. If anybody missed the first game that we cast of this series today, check it out on AE's YouTube. It will be up, I assume, either later on or tomorrow.
With an hour of this cast stream going dead. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first game of this series was absolutely incredible. One of the best that we've cast in a while. Well worth watching. So, but again, like goes to show though, Barton very, very much on form in this tournament. We saw great performance from Hans today, with both of his factions he played respectively, Brits and Austere. Barton with his OKW and his did he play Soviets? Yeah, he did with his OKW at Soviets. So we got a lot to look forward to. That's the finish of the round of 16. We go into the quarterfinals next weekend, as A will consistently tell you that Saturday and Sunday next week. But
absolutely. Do you want to get the brackets up so we can have a quick show of exactly what people have to look forward to next weekend?
Of course, yeah. Give me 1 second.
So, as Stormless just mentioned, next weekend on Saturday and Sunday, you're treated to a double bill of amazing quarterfinal action where every game is a winner, quite frankly. It's going to be all killer, no filler. It's going to be such great competitive action. All the games look evenly poised for destruction. In the top left quadrant of your brackets, if you want the brackets to sing along and dance along, here they are in chat right now. In the top left, on Saturday, 3rd of June, you've got DevM versus Talisman. These guys scrim together in practice. They're pretty damn evenly poised. Talisman's got great Soviet play. DevM is the pound-for-pound best tournament-level player in Company of Heroes history. Bottom left quadrant of your brackets, Von Ivan versus Theodosios. Looks great as well. Von Ivan's been practicing much more than anybody else in the tournament scene at the moment. He's against Theo, who's a number 5 seed, battled very well against Tobis, and quite frankly, showed himself to be ready to start playing the game very seriously indeed. What do you see in the top right-hand side of your brackets there, Dan?
I'm going to see a match that I spoke to Lovenest about, and he seemed incredibly confident about. Lovenest versus Aimstrong, which is going to be phenomenal to see. Lovenest actually really reckoned that he had a good chance versus Aimstrong in this. No doubts at all from talking to him. But of course, we know Aimstrong, who you can see in that bracket versus Hooligan, struggled a little bit, came back to completely trash one of the all-time greats of Company of Heroes 2. So that's going to be a great series there. And then, of course, the later game on that Sunday, Helping Hands versus Barton, the 2 winners from today. I think that's going to be a very, very good game. And also, to lose one of those 2 players from this tournament is a huge deal, because they could be number 1 and number 2 remaining in the finals matches. So Helping Hands versus Barton is going to be an incredible one to watch, because they're both 2 people that will put absolutely everything into those games to make sure they go through to the finals.
Absolutely. And the great thing about this, that top right game, that's going to be on Sunday, Lovenest Aimstrong. You say Lovenest is confident. I know Aimstrong is confident as well.
I can imagine.
So we got 2 guys that are starting to think they really fancy beating the other, and they're pretty much, you know, top level tier tournament level legends. Bottom right quadrant, a proper brutal grudge match. Helping Hands with his hated, and I absolutely emphasize the word hated, opponent Barton PL. Everywhere you see next weekend is going to be absolutely awesome. So with that, I don't doubt for a second any of you guys are going to tune in, but get your friends to tune in. I want to see 1,000 viewers of our own accord next weekend easily. I think we've got it in us, and I know we're going to get it. So get your friends to come and view some of these great tournament level games. Come here as too. But I've been AE. Thanks for hosting me, Dan, and thanks for everybody tuning in today. It's been a great day of battles.
It has been an absolutely fantastic day. Good games. Thanks to all the players. Next weekend is going to be a big weekend. So guys, make sure that you get things ready. Make sure you get some beer. Make sure you get some food, some fast food. Actually, a lot of people message me with pictures that they're having like takeaways and stuff. Yeah. I'm super jealous when I see it as well, because nothing excites me more than watching Company of Heroes and having fast food. So I'll probably watch some of the replays now and do the same thing. But yeah, next weekend is going to be really good. Thanks guys as well for your continued support. Firehawk, just seen your subscription. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Yeah, thanks for your continued support. Just turning up and viewing the tournament, keeping the game alive is more than enough for us. So thanks very much for that. But we will just do one thing before we go. We're going to do a raffle giveaway for Ashes of the Singularity. So I'm going to open that raffle up right now. So guys, you got a couple of minutes before we close the stream. We're going to give away a full copy of Ashes of the Singularity, provided by Stardock Entertainment, thanks to Callum from General's Gentleman. And it's a pretty good RTS game. It's good fun to play with your friends as well. I only play it casually, but GG will give you many ways to play it competitively.
He's in charge of making ways to play it competitively.
Oh yes.
But look forward to seeing you all next Saturday, guys. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Much hype.
Just 1 second.
Hashtag AE nudes, apparently, Rosbone. Not too sure about that one.
Marmiton says it's not fun, but I don't understand. Oh, he's talking about, okay.
Dan, why aren't you signing off, sorry?
Because we're doing a raffle.
Oh, is it still going on? Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we're giving a couple of minutes for people to raffle. Then we'll do the raffle thing. Then we'll move over to the end screen. But,
fair enough.
I mean, if anyone has any questions, now's the time to ask. Whilst me and Eve got a couple of seconds.
Just to recite our announcements from earlier today, Relic Entertainment, courtesy of Sega, also have donated £1,000, Great British pounds. It's a very strong currency for you euro and dollar people. They've donated that money for GCS, for community initiatives around GCS. So that's funding stuff like paying for map making, paying for emblem and faceplates for GCS, and stuff like that. Show matches, of course. You had that Nagano versus Jove show match earlier on. About 3 weeks ago, we had that. That was for £100. So they've paid for that with £1,000 donated straight to the project rather than through the Kickstarter, with the idea that it goes towards community elements more than the actual prize pool and such. So massive thanks to them. Big thanks to Kyle. Big thanks to Greg. Big thanks to Quinn for pulling that together and funding us, keeping their game a competitive spectacle. And it's a great game, so we're happy to do that.
It is. All right, let's go and do the raffle winner. This is C. Blanco, who won the previous raffle. This time it's Ashes of the Singularity. Winner is going to be Vile09, who is a supporter of the channel as well. Thank you very much, and you've won yourself a copy of Ashes of the Singularity. I will message you on Twitch, so keep your eyes open for that. I think with that, there was a couple of questions that came in, by the way. GB Hooligan says, which matches do you think will be the best of the quarterfinals?
Love Nest Armstrong's got the most hype attached to it, but Helping Hands Barton's got a lot of hype as well. I think Sunday is going to be a true main event because you've got a grudge match of pride, Love Nest and Armstrong, two Germanic heroes that are so proud of their standard of play. And then you've got Helping Hands Barton, which is a grudge match of hatred. But don't get me wrong, Devem, Talisman, and Von Ivan Theodosios is going to be great as well. But I think that right side of the bracket is arguably offering a little bit more hype next Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going through the brackets as well, try and piece like what you think will be the semi-finals from those brackets, because that's also looking very good for the players that are left. It's going to be absolutely awesome. But yeah, I think that's us done for tonight. We're going to roll on with an outro video. Then obviously just stick around. We'll host a channel, probably playing Company of Heroes, so you guys can continue watching the game for a little bit longer. If you don't always do it already, get involved in the community. There's plenty of good streamers out there who put content on regularly. You guys can learn how to play the game better and what's going on in the community for players so far. So thanks very much, guys, for your support. Thank you, AE, for co-casting, and we'll see you guys next week for a long weekend of Grand Championship Series. This is Paula's moment entirely, though. He absolutely has to nail this right down. The micro has got to be perfect. There we go. He manages to use more speed to get the Comet around the back of the Panther. course he really has, and he's about to take down the Pershing. Let's not fault this, he still has the Sturmtiger. The Pershing is down, Devem is so far off another vehicle right now. The Sturmtiger has a great opportunity to go in and deal some damage. He has to get control of VP immediately.
Try and find the south, and no, it's going to focus on the units. ISU-152 backs into the headquarters sector. Panther's going to have difficulty trying to get through to that rear armour whilst it's rotating. Indeed it does. Oh, Panzerwerfer, the massive barrage! Oh, dear God! That's genocide! Oh, rocket artillery genocide! The Pumas are blocking it, it's trying to retreat, but they've got double block on it, and they get rid of it almost immediately! Great call by Stormers, great play by Barton, using the bonus cover road to retreat, going all the way around the rear. No snares, no mines, Barton won, Loveness 0 when it comes
to it. Trying to get the infiltration nades off. Does a little bit of damage, and he may be able to force that unit out of there, but here's the risk. Command Panther on the ice. Cromwell is close.
Oh no! Oh, this is like Jack and Rose. Looks likely that is the most ridiculous play in Company of Heroes 2 history. With all of his vehicles on tiny fractions of health, Barton has rescued this from the fires of bloody Hades. Dear Christ, what a game.